All eyes on Ger McTaggart, the 19-year-old.
Seconds out,
Glasgow,
round one.
Dean Wilkinson from Manchester. A late change of opponent for young McTaggart. And again, it's part of the learning process, of course, for these young fighters to just deal with the changes. And he's gone about the business very well so far. Ger McTaggart with the grey shorts with the lime trim in against the man known as Silky from Middleton, Dean Wilkinson, who has stepped in, wears the black shorts with red. And McTaggart starting brightly, good work to head and body. Just his second professional contest. Made his debut in October of last year against the very seasoned Simas Volasinas, but he's very schooled. A Scotland international as an amateur. Absolutely knows his ways around, and was in an exhibition just a couple of weeks ago against Charlie Doig, so he's fresh, he's looking good in there, and against, well, another road warrior with just one win and 18 defeats to his name, Dean Wilkinson, who steps in at any notice. You pleased with what you've seen so far, Lee McGregor?
Yeah, definitely. He's come out well. He's picking his shots. Short, stocky, come forward fighter. That's what Gerard does. He's got a good amateur background as well. He come on the Scotland squad round about the time as I was sort of coming off of it. He's a bit younger. He's 19 years old, so he's got lots of learning to do. But he started off nice and well. And he, like I said, it's early on in his career, so he's going to use these rounds for experience. He wants to get used to getting hit with those small gloves on. It's completely different than the amateurs. And yeah, I feel like it is. It's a different sport, the pros to the amateurs. The small gloves, no vests, more rounds. That's what he needs to experience, and I believe he's got a bright future.
I think it's a test, isn't it, for young fighters when they are in against the road warriors that, you know, maybe aren't going to show too much ambition. They can frustrate a young fighter. They've got to show that, I suppose, that maturity so early in his career, just to be able to deal with that and not really let the red mist come down. It's going to be it can be those nights, can't it? You've got to deal with them.
Yeah, and these guys are sometimes the hardest to look good against. The more you go up in levels, the harder your opponents become, and the more your opponents come to win. That's when people see the best of you. Gerard is doing the right thing here. He's picking his shots well, and he's learning on the job like what he wants to be doing so early on in his career. If you come out against a guy like this and you try and take his head off, he'll do nothing but frustrate you, and it will be a hard, frustrating night. So you want to go in there, show your skills, look good, but don't be over eager, don't be over aggressive, because these guys have been there so many times before. Some of them fight every single week. So he's definitely doing the right things. He's looking good and he's pacing himself well, and that's what it's all about early on in your career. You want to pace yourself well, you want to do the rounds, and then when you step up the rounds and that, you've been there before and you've done it before. So good start, good opening round for Gerard.
Well, there was a little smile on the face of Wilkinson as well when McTaggart caught him with a beauty just towards the end of that round. He's been in there with some cracking company, of course, as well, Dean Wilkinson. So I think he's acknowledged the talent that's in front of him with young Ger McTaggart.
Yeah, I think as well, Gerard, obviously this is his second pro fight. I think he's going to, obviously, super lightweight, campaign at super lightweight. He's came over, obviously, a little bit heavier than that tonight. Once he fits into his right weight, starts looking towards titles and stuff, I think that's when we'll see the best of Gerard. And he'll be in some good fights. Another young Scottish fighter coming through who's going to be on some big bills, because I believe Scottish boxing is booming right now, and there's a lot of young, good up-and-coming fighters coming through. So it's exciting times for Scottish boxing.
I think one thing as well that McTaggart will have noted is the sheer size difference, really. I mean, he's fighting in a full-blown super welterweight stroke middleweight, really, in the shape of Dean Wilkinson. So physically, he's negating the advantages, the natural advantages that Wilkinson would have. He's doing that very well. Got through the guard beautifully there as well, picking the shots really well now.
I'd like to see him vary the power here. He's obviously putting a lot into each shot. See if he touch. Again, though, that will come with experience. when he starts varying his power, so Dean Wilkinson just letting him know that he's still there, he's still there. This is what these guys are absolutely perfect for, the young pros coming through. They're there, they're not going to bowl over with one shot and you come out and you blast them one shot and you look $1 million. They'll take the punishment and they will swing back and they will make you be switched on for the full duration of the fight, and that's why the trainers choose these type of opponents for the young fighters coming through, because they'll learn so much from this. Coming out here and blasting the guy out in a round isn't going to do anything for his progress. So I think this is perfect matchmaking from his coaching team, and it'll do him great stead in the future for his career.
You mentioned that Wilkinson is just throwing the odd shot, the odd flurry, just to keep McTaggart thinking, but it is one-way traffic. Darren Maxwell, the scoring referee, of course. Decent movement again from McTaggart. Just looking for that uppercut through the guard. Wilkinson did get it off on that occasion. There's a big reach difference here as well, though, isn't there, tonight?
Yep, Gerard's just pushing him back, got him on the back foot. He's picked his shots really well this round. I've been impressed with what I've seen. He's not rushing his work, taking his time, picking the shots well, and yes, it's another good round for him in the bank.
Just to stay busy as well, he had that exhibition with Charlie Doig a few weeks ago. That would have done him the world of good as well, wouldn't it? You know, they got in there and they actually had a real go at each other as well. They knew each other well, but they had a proper little tear up. So it's not on the record, but it's probably helped him prepare for tonight after just one professional fight.
Definitely, I would say take as many fights or many exhibitions as you can. I always say that to the young amateur fighters coming through as well. Win, lose, draw, you want to fight as much as possible, because at the end of the day, when your amateur career's over, that little card that you've got goes away and it goes in the bin. So the more experience you've gained, the more it'll do you good for when you do eventually turn professional, and you've been there so many times before. So yeah, no, you want to take as many fights as possible. So yeah, no, you're right, it would have done the world a good ahead of this tonight.
So you mentioned before just about maybe varying the power a little bit, but you know, he's 2 rounds to the good, no doubt about that so far. But so you want to see him just tap then?
Yeah, because obviously Wilkinson is actually preparing. He's prepared himself for that one shot power. The power's like the same every sort of time. So when he vary it, that's when he will catch Wilkinson by surprise. When it's hard shot, you can brace yourself for that. Whereas if he's going around the sides there, touch up, and then power, is definitely going to catch him by surprise. And like I said, he's bracing himself for the power shots. So when it's not so powerful, then like I said, varying the power, that's when you will see more damage being done. People might think, how's that possible when he's putting less punches? But it's catching his opponent by surprise.
An interesting learning curve for him, because he's getting plenty of chat from Dean Wilkinson in there as well. Again, all part of the game. This very serious, seasoned 35-year-old, 16 years his junior, McTaggart is. And again, Wilkinson smiling, nodding his head, and then having a little bit of a chat again. And it's all just part of the mind games you got to deal with in there.
Yep, 100%. It's more experience for him. He's going to get that again. And yeah, it's all part of the game, like you said. There'll be many more. He just needs to not get involved, not let it frustrate him. He's boxing well. He needs to stick to always just watching a good shot there. See again, Wilkinson keep making sure that you need to be switched on for the full duration, every single minute of the fight. You can't switch off for 1 second. Again, I think this is a great learning fight for Gerard. It really is. He could have come in here against someone not so big as Dean Wilkinson, somewhere more around his size. Probably could have blasted him out, looked good, But this is a fantastic learning fight for Gerard, and it'll do him good for the future.
Well, Wilkinson had a busy year last year, but he's taking part in his first contest of the year. Not been as active as normally, was stopped in his last fight at the end of last year when he was in against Dempsey Whale, the younger brother of Josh Whale, who had such a great career. Bit of a Cinderella man, now a trainer and promoter in Barnsley. But this is mainly about the progression of Ger McTaggart, who's showing he's got plenty of potential. The Glasgow boxing fans to look forward to seeing more of this lad. And it's just so important as well that we are here in Glasgow, we are in Scotland, showcasing the fabulous talent that's here. You know all about it, we just need to bring it to wider eyes. Would you agree with that? I think you will.
Well, 100%. The Scottish fight nights, there's been some great nights in Scotland. Go back to the days when Alex Arthur had some great fights here. Ricky Burns, many world title fights. We've had one of the pound-for-pound fighters over here, pound-for-pound greats. Terence Crawford came over here. Ricky Burns defending his world title against him. Some of them nights are unbelievable, and they're the nights that get the younger generation and the younger ones wanting to come through and be professional boxers. So I feel like Scottish boxing has been starved of that a little bit recently, but I think it's on the up now, and this is the first of many more Scottish fight nights. And again, with the talents coming through like Gerard, we can be in for some exciting nights, definitely.
I think what's interesting as well with Scotland, and I've been lucky enough to come to quite a few of the shows up here as well, it isn't just about Glasgow and Edinburgh anymore, because obviously you've got Dean Sutherland in Aberdeen, and there's Highland fighters now as well coming through. And it's hard obviously up in that part of northeast Scotland for the sparring and everything else, but there's a real kind of community of boxers coming through the professional ranks there as well. So it's spreading around the country as well. It isn't just the cities. We know about Glasgow fighters and Edinburgh fighters like yourself. It's great to see that, isn't it?
Yeah, no, so many, like you just said there, so many fighters from up north, Aberdeen, all coming through and making a name for themselves as well. So, like you just said there, and everybody, they all work together. I know a lot of fighters from here, Glasgow fighters, Edinburgh fighters, travel all the way up north, or the fighters from north travel down to Edinburgh and Glasgow, and they all help each other out. And it's great sparring. Yeah. It's brilliant for everyone involved, and it's only going to bring all the fighters on. So it's fantastic. And like I said, so many exciting fighters coming through from Scotland just now, and we want to see more nights like this tonight.
And plenty more Scottish talent to come tonight here. As well, you're watching all the action on Fight TV. There's a really good crowd inside here. This cavernous Glasgow Boxing Academy, and McTaggart still thoroughly in control of this contest. And good work to body and then head. He's enjoying himself in there, I think. Good tight guard from Wilkinson, but Taggart trying to work around it. It's completely different as well. Yeah, I remember thinking back and watching Gerard just now. He's not feeling the pace, but you can see he's obviously starting to breathe a little bit heavier. And again, I remember going back in the amateur days, and even my first professional fights, the 4-rounders and the 3-rounders and the amateurs, complete different pace. I'd come out the ring from an amateur fight, 3-minute rounds, and absolutely blown. I didn't have another round in me. And then my first couple of professional fights, luckily they were knockouts, but then the first time I started going the distance, you do feel the pace. It's completely different, and that's one of the things I've experienced the most as I became more experienced as a pro, is learning to manage the rounds. That's one of the most important things coming through as a professional fighter. And I feel like this is a perfect, like I said, perfect fight for Gerard, because coming out and blowing your opponent away is impressive and it is good, but there's nothing better than
experiencing the rounds and managing to pace yourself through them rounds, because that is the end goal is to be championship fighter and be a champion, and that's when you start going into 10, 12 rounders, and you're in a completely different mindset, and you push your body to different limits when you start going into their rounds. But again, a great performance from Gerard, and he will have learned a lot from that.
And there was just a little shot at the end that he took that would be another lesson to him. There was smiles all around, because it was Wilkinson again saying, I got you there, you've got to switch on at all times, and it was another great lesson for him.
Definitely, and I said that in the previous round. He's big enough there to take the shots, but he'll give you one back now and again, and that's exactly what the young fighters need.
Well, what a learning exercise then. I no doubt took every single round there. Showed some good skills, young Ger McTaggart, and I'm sure he will have the arm raised. We'll get the official result with our scoring referee, Darren Maxwell. And here is Bus Raggett.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Darren Maxwell scores the bout 40-36. And your winner, Ger